doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley on this side of the table, Richie Giuliano on that side, and you never know what's going to happen at Ysn in East Palestine on a daily basis. Richie just got the full effect of everything from lunch all the way through about 2 minutes. I think we were late actually getting to the show today because YSU's Shane Davis just kept on talking. He thought he was on the air the entire time, I'm pretty sure. But
I wish he was.
I wish he was too. But nonetheless, we've got a great show for you today. 3:30, Michael Markulin from South Range alum now, heading to Cleveland State to do his thing on the mat, to wrestle. But he was much more than just a wrestler. He was a state talent each and every year on the mat, but also was part of the baseball team as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what he's looking to do in college and some of the best memories and best stories that he has from his days as a Raider. Richie, what's one thing that you've learned today over the last 6 hours or so since you've been here about just candid YSN?
It's daytime.
It's daytime. And they don't serve breakfast.
And they don't serve breakfast at noon. Two things I've learned today.
What time do you think that guy thought it was?
I am probably 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to East Palestine. So let's get to how we start the show each and every day. Let's get to on this day in sports history. Roll it. This day in sports history, June 13th, in 1948, Babe Ruth's final farewell at Yankee Stadium. He would unfortunately meet his ultimate demise on August 16th, so not that much after that, a couple months. Yeah. Richie, Babe Ruth, there's always a conversation about, is he the greatest of all time, or is he just advantageous for his time? You know what I mean? Where do you stand on this?
Well, first off, I think a lot of people forget that he started his major league career as a left-handed pitcher. Mm-hmm. Well, Boston Red Sox against their rival. And then obviously he's well known for being the slugger for the New York Yankees, where he hit over 7 home runs in his career. But, the argument was always, what were the pitchers? It's the same thing in every sport, right? I mean, we talk about this in basketball with like Michael Jordan. Was Michael Jordan playing against the same talent again that LeBron James is playing against? And there's no win or losing in this argument because nobody knows. I wasn't alive to see Babe Ruth play. I mean, I'm obviously alive to see like guys like Mike Trout and Jose Ramirez play, but overall, nobody knows back then how hard these pitchers were throwing. There was no such thing as a radar gun.
You're pretty quick to throw Jose Ramirez in that sentence.
He's having an unbelievable year.
Could he be the MVP?
He should be. If he stays on this track, he should for sure be the MVP.
So even like Shohei Ohtani, as successful as he's been over the last couple of years, Jose Ramirez, what does he bring to the table?
Everything.
I like him. I'm not gonna. People are gonna sit there and throw rocks at me. I like the guy. I like him. Calm down. But Shohei Ohtani made the compelling argument last year. He's pulling double duty.
Yeah.
If he does it again this year and he his, how does he not win MVP?
I mean, I guess
Angels
it all
stink.
comes down to the fans.
Why?
They're voting.
You can't vote for the MVP, can you?
Yeah, I mean, you vote for everything else. Not specifically.
Do you vote for the MVP?
You vote for all the All-Stars.
Yeah, but not for the most valuable player. That comes down.
Yeah, but I think the MLB is going to look at it from a fan perspective,
I guess.
Like who's putting the most amount of votes and effort into these guys.
Is he? I mean, they opened up the ballots, did they not?
They did, yeah.
And is Ramirez one of the big scorers?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure on the infield. I mean, he's gonna be an MVP, and if he's not, then I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that sounds like a homer pick right there.
I mean, he's got the most amount of RBIs in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 17 home runs, 16 doubles. He's batting over 330. Like,
yeah. He's legit.
He's
and
legit.
He wants to be in Cleveland, so
yeah,
he's got everybody's heart.
Cut. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One of the interesting things that happened over the weekend, Astros.
Yeah.
Came up short for the first time this season. You and I talked about it. It's going to take a stellar effort, and it's going to take maybe some guys missing from the Astros. And I think both of those things happened as Nightline pulled a big win over the weekend over the 18U Astros. What do you think was it exactly like we called it? Were there guys missing? I know there was a lot of tournaments this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was 11-10, and Astro jumped out with a 4-0 lead in the top of the first. But, give credit to Nightline. They came back. They scored 6 runs in the fifth, I believe. Just looking at some of the stats, you had multiple guys that had numerous amounts of hits, and they had 10 hits in 7 innings. So, offensively, they swung it really well. I'm looking at Astros lineup right now, and, they've got their normal 9 and 10 that they usually throw out there. They do have a little B guy right now who's batting 10th that was in that game, and Jay Rona, who hasn't played much. But, overall, their top 7 or 8 are consistent players on the Astro Falcons. So I tip my cap to Nightline and what they did, and they're able to come out with a victory, and they walked it off in the 7th.
J. Michael Rona can swing it, too.
Yeah,
that's not your normal 16U kid.
No.
It's a Mohawk product. Very these all-star games, we're going to get to it in a minute, but, it's funny to see how many people are playing in Class B that are also in this all-star game.
Yeah.
And I give a tip of the cap to Scott Rourke and the entire team there for helping us out on June 25th and saying, hey, listen, we're going to make sure that we clear the deck for you that way, because they know what's coming. It's going to be a ton of people. It's going to be a ton of players, and it's going to be the main featured, game of the night and really of the weekend, if you think about it, when it comes to having that game on Saturday, having the girls' game on Sunday at 7 o'clock, both games at 7 o'clock. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be a long weekend for us, homeboys. So, and you just breaking the news earlier today that you actually freed your schedule up. Romo's going to cover you at the Eastwood Field, and you're calling it. Talk from your standpoint. It has to be special because your brother's last baseball game.
Yeah,
that's got to be cool.
That'll be cool. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, I could bring him up. Never done an interview with him before. So we might have to bring him up.
It's going to happen because it's destiny.
The problem is when I'm sitting there and we're live, he has trouble keeping it together. That's
from what standpoint?
He starts laughing and giggling, and
you do that.
I do that too, but I can contain myself. The interview goes smoothly, but he just loses it. It just goes off the rails. I
think there needs to be a third headset in there and just kind of having it.
Have somebody balance it.
Yeah, almost like a referee for you two. Because number one question I have to ask, and you and I have talked about it, and he and I have talked about it off the record, is who's the better fighter and who would come out in a fight with a victory. You say you, he says him. That's natural. But I think Don King needs to be there and promote it personally. So, I would love to be that guy that kind of jumps in or at least have someone like a Steve Leslie pop in and be able to kind of ask the both of you what it was like. And because there's a lot of people, Rich, that, don't know kind of you guys had some adversity growing up from that standpoint. And what is it like? And what is it like to room with Richie Giuliano? What is it like to room with Josh Giuliano? And who is going to put who through a table on June 25th? That's the bigger question.
Hey, all you got to do is go ask Jordan Boitnott, who was the manager for the Youngstown State baseball team. I roomed with him and Jordan Brown, the trainer, for the last 2 years. So, you just go directly to the source. Go to those guys. They'll tell you.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you talk a lot of game, a lot of smack. and Josh is good at, but you guys are so different.
We are different people.
There's so many similarities, but there's so many differences that it's. What's the biggest difference between you and your brother?
Well, the biggest difference is he is more like my mom, and I'm like my dad.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I get along with my dad really well, and he gets along with his mom really well.
Yeah.
So those two.
Who's more analytical?
House. Analytical, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He lets things go a little easier?
I don't know. Sometimes he gets real uptight about things, but, I'm loose and as a goose most of the time.
Yeah.
You really have to say something bad to offend me. I don't really care. You can really say anything. I'll just be
so you live at a 3. You got to get to
you got to get up there to make me.
I live
yell
at like
you.
a 7.
Yeah.
And where's Josh live?
Depends what day. I mean,
Is he pretty cool?
Yeah, I mean, usually he's pretty cool. I mean, both of us don't have hot heads. I mean, you can really say anything to us, and we won't get offended. But
It's fair.
I mean, if you say something about like our dad, then
I'm sure
you're probably gonna be in some trouble.
you're gonna die.
You're done.
You're gonna get it, son. You and Paca Cadu gonna just swing it. All right, so let's play a game here. All right, since we have 18 potential pitchers that are playing in this game, 9 obviously per team. Give me the 5 pitchers that you could hit off of. We'll start with that. What are 5
hit off?
Yeah, you could get a hit off of.
I haven't played in
You
4
feel
years.
confident.
I could barely hit off Dan Bertolini when he's on BP.
So, that's just because you're bad.
He's throwing
Anybody,
curves.
Danny Bertolini, I would take him Yahtzee. Yeah. Cage bomb. Let's flip it then. Who
I can't hit
Who's
against?
5 pitchers you have no shot?
I have no shot against Landon.
Okay.
No shot
So
against
Cheese?
Landon. Probably no shot against Joe Roth.
There's 2.
I think Gavin Strum's got incredible stuff. I don't think I'd be able to hit him. Let me think who else I probably wouldn't be able to
Mark
hit
Bunch
against.
from Mineral Ridge. 2 no-hitters this year.
I mean, if he's done 2 no-hitters.
Southpaw.
Well, Southpaw lefty righty, I'm better.
You feel good about that?
I'm better against the
I was better with righties than I was at lefties.
See, I like stuff moving in towards my hands. Like when stuff's moving away, I'm in trouble. So there's 3 of them. I'm trying to think of some guys that I saw. Gebhardt. I don't think I'd be able to hit against Gebhardt. He's got a good slider.
There's 5. Good call.
No, I'm missing one. Right?
1, 2, Cheese, Joe.
Yep.
Shrum.
And Gebhardt.
I thought you had a 5th one in there.
I'm trying to think of a
Bunch.
5 in Bunch. Yeah.
Okay. If you were in a lineup with any of these guys, where would you put yourself?
Probably 7th.
Okay. Where were you usually?
Depends. Travel ball, I was either 1 or 9, just depending on who showed up that day.
So you were lead off or second lead off?
Lead off or second lead off. And then high school, they put me anywhere, really. Just depends on how streaky I was. My junior year, I had some really good at-bats, and I was streaky in Myrtle Beach, so they put me in the middle of the lineup. And then, conference play, I had a couple tough.
You're second baseman,
games.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And your brother's left fielder or outfielder.
Yeah.
I don't know if
He was an infielder before he was an outfielder. A lot of people don't know that.
So how did he make that adjustment? It was just
he didn't like the infield.
Really?
Did not like the infield. My dad was a shortstop and a second baseman in high school and college, and then I was a natural second baseman. We tried to make him an infielder, but he just didn't like it. He likes using his speed so fast.
Yeah.
So he could track down balls like crazy.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I can't wait. The YSN All-Star Game, June 25th. That's what? Coming up real fast. 12 days.
We got to go to you now. Who can't you hit against?
See, I'm not like that.
So you got that attitude though that you could go up there and hit against anybody.
Yeah, like I love Landon very much, but if push comes to shove, I'm gonna hit off him. Like I don't care if I got a bunt off him, I'm gonna get a hit.
All right.
I'm gonna muscle it to first.
Then what pitchers do you think you have the least percentage of getting hit against?
Anybody that throws junk. And I'm talking like the same problem that Canfield had this year. Anybody that throws pus, yeah, I'm done. I'm toast. I'll be honest. I'm more intimidated by the softball pitchers than I am the baseball pitchers.
The rise balls are insane. And then the changeup.
The changeup is like I've seen balls that just crawl across, defy the laws of physics and gravity at the same time. And I'm like, nobody's hitting that.
No.
There's no chance you're hitting that. Boy, girl, alien, doesn't matter. You are not hitting that softball at that. You got to have one young lady go 66 and then 10. And it's you're done. It's over. And a changeup in baseball is way different.
Oh, yeah. It's completely
You can at least
different.
slow down your bat and keep the line and be able to make contact, foul it off, live to see another pitch. Softball, man, you're like Tasmanian devil.
Oh, you're toast.
You're done. It's
so
over.
close too. It happens so fast. Those rise balls just
40 feet away, you're done.
You're done.
And if you were at 60 feet, I'm probably still done.
Yeah. I mean, even if you throw it from the 60-foot distance, like you said, I mean, there's so many good pitchers around this area that, are able to rise it and change locations and change the eye level and then go change up in the dirt. And you're just like, well, there's nothing I can do about that.
All right, so let's put a question out there to everybody watching. Do you have a better chance of hitting off a pitcher like Landon Beitelgeuse, who is 94, changeup at 77, lefty, or Sidney Watts, who is just, I want to say 65, 66, something like that in the circle, and then can change it up with a drop of a hat? Who do you think that you would have the best chance of a legit hit, not like grounding it to third base or flaring it, like a legitimate hit? Who would you have a better chance of? Because I'm interested, because there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, well, softball's easier. I disagree.
You ever seen the videos of the major league players that face off against some of the best softball pitchers in the world and nobody could hit it?
Yeah. Remember
It's
Jenny
like,
Finch?
Yeah, I mean, she strikes out like everybody, and then they put a softball player in the box, and then they get hits against baseball players. Like, there's so much movement that a lot of people don't understand. That ball comes on you so fast. Like baseball, there's different arm slots too. Baseball, you could see, like, if Landon was throwing, you could see a four-seamer coming out. You could see a curveball from the way that his arm angle is. But softball, it's just all the same.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, just drops off the table or right past your eyes. It's just so hard.
I think I would despise someone like a Beitelgeuse or a Jake Kurdick or somebody that's extremely tall, because when they release the ball, they're on you, as opposed to like a guy like me pitch it. You can see it from a mile away.
Yeah, there's one guy, and that is the exact situation. Travis Perry. He played for Baird Brothers in the Class B League, and I faced him multiple times. I was like 0 for the century against Perry. He was like still 6'5", 6'6", and I mean the ball just hops on you. It's just like you could hear it in the mitt. Because Swarmer was actually his catcher. I learned about that, this year, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, you're done.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
I mean, that's why he was such a high prospect coming out of high school, because of his strikeout numbers. They're insane.
Sure, and plus he could get it done on the other side too. He hit a ball in 2000. Is it 19? That is probably still going.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable power. And are they still trying to figure out like what he's going to do?
They wanted him to be a two-way back in 2019.
Yeah.
But obviously it's so hard being a two-way player in college. It's almost unheard of. I mean, Wright State had a guy that was their 3-hitter and center fielder, and then he came out of center field and closed the game. But those guys are freaking 1 in
Jameis Winston
100
was another one of those guys.
Yeah.
Florida State. Interesting to me. I mean, I would love to see anybody's comments and how the people think about, okay, would it be easier? And they're both phenomenal pitchers. And Sid's obviously just a freshman.
No.
But you look at, statistically speaking, which one would you, if you were able to have $1 million and it was $1 million if you won it more, or you lose $1 million if you don't get a hit, where would you put your money? Like pros versus Joes.
Yeah.
I would go Beitelgeuse, because I got no shot at hitting softball.
I would too.
I know, at least
I've seen it.
Well, and not just that, but like at least you're familiar with the sport.
Yeah.
You can go practice a little bit.
I've never swung a softball bat in my life. I know you have, because you played in the softball leagues. I've never swung a softball bat in my life.
Way different.
That's what I mean. So I would have no idea what I would do.
It's and like I wasn't fast pitch. So I was slow pitch men's softball, and I was the pitcher.
Home run derby.
Really, it's what it. But you get penalized for home runs in men's slow pitch softball. Yeah.
How?
So you're only allowed 2 of them in most leagues.
A game?
Yeah. And you're usually playing double hitters. So like what you'll end up doing is you'll try to get bases loaded, and it doesn't matter when the bases are loaded. You try to hit your home runs then.
Yeah.
Because if you hit a 1-run shot, you owe everybody beer. Because you wasted one.
Yeah.
And then in some tournaments, you're not allowed any home runs. They call it the E League, E Division, I think. If you hit a home run, you're actually ejected from the game. That player.
What?
Yeah.
So you play like real defense then in those leagues?
Yeah.
Like I thought, because my cousin asked me to play, and I thought it was just like, just stand up there and just go. Like
Austintown has one, and when I was part of that league, you could hit 5 home runs a game, and then everything after that's an out. So, there's a lot of strategy to it, but again, it's not fast pitch.
Yeah.
So fast pitch, you hit home runs, good for you. Yeah. You got good contact. Slow pitch, everybody feels like, okay, that's beer league or whatever. but there's some strategy that goes into it. And, I became a leadoff hitter. I pitched because nobody else would. So I wore a mask and a visor and everything.
Yeah, that's got to be scary. How close you are.
It's terrifying. And I was always the guy that had some yaps. So I learned quickly that when I have that mask on, I can put a mouthpiece in or something, and nobody can really hear me what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I did some chirping, the middle was open, as they say, and it was tough skating. And ultimately, my wife made me pick between softball and business of YSN, and it was a no brainer. Yeah. But I missed the competition. Like, if we could get
wait till Monday.
Oh gosh,
that'll be competition.
So Richie and I are going to be golfing in the AJGA, like pro-am kind of deal. So we're excited about that. Thanks to Brian Tolnar for letting us be part of it. We're excited. In golf, it's not a competition with me. You know that, right? I'm terrible at it. I'm
not good either.
You're good.
I'm like a handicap of like 20.
Well, when they ask me my handicap on Monday, I'm just going to say golf. Like that is it. That's my handicap.
Especially Mill Creek, because that course is
challenging.
It's very difficult. So
the biggest thing, and one of my biggest phobias, man, and you know this, is people watching me tee off.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a crowd on Monday.
I'm terrified. I did it last year, and I hit it like 30 yards.
You might have to hit a 7-iron off the first tee.
I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3 wood and just launch it. But Brian's going to push me. He's going to be like, no, hit your driver. Be a man. Hit your driver.
Is he playing with us?
No, he's not. But he's part of the thing.
Oh, so he's just going to stand at the first
He's going to stand there and laugh at me is what he's going to do.
You got to use his Tolnar takes.
I'm trying. I've been trying. Like Tolnar, Brian's very, very good at this. And his instruction videos are amazing. But that doesn't help me who just can't golf. I'm so baseball in out swing. You know what I mean? Like I was able to go opposite field in softball because I have an inside out swing. Golf, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And you've seen me look like completely line up one way just to hit it goes that way.
90 degrees right.
So it'll be interesting on Monday. I'm going to be there'll be no show on Monday, but we'll try to do some videos and upload them to YSN promoting, the AJGA and everything that's going to happen at Mill Creek this week. Brings in millions and millions and millions of dollars to the Valley.
That's amazing.
Love it. Everybody knows how we feel about Mill Creek, METROPARKS, our partnership, and of course Brian Tolnar, who has been such a great friend, not just of the show and of YSN, but just of us, getting us taken care of and constantly letting us do whatever we want, whenever we want at that park. So thanks, Brian. Looking forward to Monday. So here's a good question for you, because we got Mikey Markulin coming on in about 7 minutes. If we were to field a YSN softball team, men's league softball team, who would you want on the team from the YSN celebrities, and why would you want them there, and how would we fare?
Let's get Gare Bear up there.
Gary Niddle. Okay.
Gary Niddle.
That's it. Where are you putting him?
Oh, he's DHing.
You think he's DH? See, I think he's more first base.
He might be able to play a little first.
He ain't
Rick
moving.
Avrilla's got to be on there.
Well, Rick can't be on first base. Like, Rick can't be on the team. He doesn't do any YSN games.
Yeah.
Look at you. First off, you're just going all Canfield people. I see how you're working.
Hey, I know Rick Avrilla played at Youngstown State, so he'd be pretty good.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going. I feel like Quinn's got some raw power. I've seen him hit a golf ball, and he hits it pretty well.
But he's got a back made of jelly.
That's why you DH him.
All right.
We'll DH him.
Well, he's not running after a ball, so
I'm gonna take Romo.
Okay.
He's gonna be my second baseman.
Okay. Ooh, over you.
Am I on the team or am I managing the team?
No, you're on the team. You could be team manager and player.
All right, I'll play short.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
You're at third.
I'm at third. Hot corner.
Hot corner.
You just want me to get killed. He's looking for ownership of YSN.
I gotta put Niddle as my DH because Kyle Wills is gonna play first.
Okay.
Kyle Wills is gonna play first.
Now you got to put Quinn somewhere. He's the catcher.
Quinn could catch. No, you're catching.
Why am I catcher?
Oh yeah, softball.
In men's softball, you don't want to.
Yeah, Quinn could catch.
There you go.
Stands back there. All right, so now we need an outfield. This is the most difficult part.
No fly zone.
Michael McKenzie.
Really?
He'll play in left.
Okay.
I feel like McKenzie could be a vital part of the outfield.
Okay.
You're
missing a big one. You're missing a big one. A big one.
Give me a hint.
Your general manager.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Steve-O playing right.
Oh, man. Protecting that line. The big lefty.
I'm trying to think of my center fielder. This is the most difficult part. Who could play in center field? Put B. Miller out there.
B. Miller in center field?
Yeah.
Your team's getting their ass kicked. What do you
B.
put
Miller
everybody
out there? Who else would play center?
That's a good question. I would put Steve in center, patrolling it. I trust Steve to tell people if it's back.
Switch
gone.
Steve and B. Miller.
Okay. Anthony's my catcher. I'm going A. Hartwig back behind the dish. I'll pitch. Who's your pitcher? You got to go Quinn then.
Tie pitch.
Oh boy, that's a big target.
Big frame.
It's a big target.
Intimidation factor.
He's on you in no time. People think Ty's like little, and then you meet him and he's humongous.
Well,
he's the door frame.
I told you my reaction when I saw Ty. I met him at a game. I was like, "What the?" Because all I ever did was meet him online and on StreamYard, and he sits there and he's like this with the computer. And
he's the size of that door frame.
I'm like, he looks like my size, maybe,
Yep.
like maybe even smaller. And then I get there and he's a giant. He's like 6'4". I'm like, what is going on here?
Big guy. Yeah, I would take Steve in center field. Niddle would be my first baseman because I think he can chirp it up and distract the guys over at first base long enough that maybe they save a bag.
Yeah.
I'd go you at 2. I'd throw Romo in left field because I think he could get it done, and he's an analytical guy.
So he'd know where to position.
Yeah.
himself.
So he probably knows their stats better than they do when they come up. I'm just putting stuff together here.
It's hard picking positions because you don't know what they played.
I would put Quinn at second because there's not a whole lot of movement there. It's either by you or it's at you.
True.
But I don't think he's going to go out and do cutoffs, so that would bother me. So Quinn and I would probably get into a fight.
Yeah.
Especially as a pitcher, going out, hey, go get your cutoff. Go get him. Go help out your right fielder.
See, where do you put Kyle now that Gary's DH?
Does Kyle have
Kyle's at first?
No, Gary's my first baseman.
Gary's at first. Where do you put Kyle?
Does Kyle have an arm?
He could play third.
No. Kyle doesn't have that arm.
Well, where else would you put him?
Right.
Could put Kyle in right.
He's righty,
so
he can still protect the line a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure everything's on the inside, so nobody's gonna try to go Oppo Taco. It'll be interesting. We gotta take a break because we come back. The legend Michael Markulin joins us here on the Ysn Power Hour. Enough talk about men's league softball, Richie.
Yeah,
Look, we went down a deep, dirty, dark hole here on the Ysn Power Hour. We'll be back in about 2 minutes with Michael Markulin, the state champion of South Range. Back after this. Reliability, innovation, scale. These 3 values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting, where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley, Richie Giuliano with you. We talked about men's softball. We created our own team somehow, and now we get to talk about everything and throw in the kitchen sink in there as well. A young man will roll out the red carpet for who is a back-to-back district champion on the baseball team, a 2022 state champion, Rich, with the South Range State Championship wrestling team. And he has done his thing as a 4-time individual state qualifier, not to mention taking 5th this place in the individual state tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we bring on the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. Mikey Markulin. What's up, Michael?
Nothing much. What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Well, we got to put our headphones on because we're not used to this, Michael. Sorry about that. So you, my friend, do it all. You do it all, and you do it so gracefully. So let's walk through this. You qualified all 4 years, from freshman to senior year, for wrestling. What was that like for you? I mean, that had to be a giant box to check off of your to-do list this year.
I mean, it was all sort of fitting because, my freshman year, that was, it was a whole new experience for me when it finally happened. I had some great partners in the room that year. I don't know if you remember Kyle Keenan.
Oh, yeah.
I had, he really pushed me and kind of introduced me to high school wrestling at, the level that I wanted to compete at. And then, senior year, because sophomore year was canceled for COVID, and then junior year was just in like a random high school. So it was really fitting to kind of end it back at the Shot Center. It was cool because I finally got to, go back down there, whereas most kids would have 4 years there. It was, only 2, but it was nice to end the season like that.
I think what's cool for me is when you look at how you ended your campaign as a high schooler. You got to go out as a state champion with your teammates, and obviously it's been well documented about how it happened and how cool it was for everybody, and the explosion essentially that whole gymnasium kind of popped off because South Range won the state title. Could you have written a better script for your high school years than the way it came out and being a state champion your senior year?
I really couldn't have. It was amazing. All my teammates and all my coaches just pushing us all year to be able to come out and finish the way we did. And, even in the other sports too, baseball had, a back-to-back district title. It was just, I'm so thankful to be involved in the grade that I was in and just have the people surrounding me that I do, especially in athletics. It was just, it was a dream come true. It was really the best situation that I could have been in. I'm so thankful for it.
Now, it was the first year that your dad and Dave Markulin took over the duties as a South Range head coach. He was a varsity assistant for a couple of years. So talk about that experience, being able to play under your dad and wrestle for him.
It's definitely challenging. It has its, it has its downsides, but it also has its upsides. He loves me. He wants me to succeed more than, I want myself to succeed at times. And it's always just great to have that. He's always the one supporting you and just kind of, making it so he's the one that, he sees what you put in. So he, shows you what you kind of want to get out of it, and always holding you accountable and believing in me when I don't believe in myself. So it was just, overall, it was a great experience. There's obviously times where he snaps me a little bit more, but, I know it's all in good testimony. He wants the best for me, but overall, it was such a lucky experience that I'm so grateful to have.
He loves you, man. That's all there is to it. There's a certain special something whenever you're able to coach your kid. And let's talk about that special something, because obviously it was a special year for you, but a very special year for your dad, coach of the year in wrestling. I mean, it's easy for a father to be proud of a son, but when you saw that come across, you had to be happy for your old man.
I mean, it was just, he still doesn't let us hear the end of it. He's still talking about it. And, before, like when it first happened, he sat, me, and I was with Raymond at the time, who obviously you guys know Raymond, but
Sure.
I was with him at the time, and he sat, us down, and he really just, told us, thank you, because we were the wrestlers that he got to coach. And so it was a great experience for him, and he deserved it. He's been, he definitely paid his dues in the South Range Wrestling program. He's been involved since the start of it 22 years ago, before I was even in the picture or thought about. So he's definitely paid his time for it. And I'm happy that it finally kind of worked out for him. He got the recognition that he deserves.
All right. One of the cool things about you, we talk about a lot of the South Range student athletes are multi-sport athletes. You play you play baseball and you wrestle. I almost said play wrestling, and there's nothing playing about wrestling. Let me tell you about that. I learned that firsthand this year. What are some of the challenges that people might not talk about when it comes to being a multi-sport athlete that you've encountered that maybe prepared you for going to Cleveland State and to being to continuing your athletic education at the next level?
Yeah, definitely. So at the beginning of the year, I actually golfed my senior year. So
oh wow, okay, congrats.
Yeah, it was fun. It definitely just teaches you to manage your time, and it just keeps you well rounded. Baseball obviously is a little bit of slower pace than wrestling compared to obviously a 6-minute wrestling match. It's full go 100% of the time, and it's a shorter time period. Baseball is you got a 2-hour game with 7 innings, and so it kind of trains all of your emotions to just stay in check. Baseball's really taught me to stay calm and just kind of work through everything and let everything take care of itself through the hard work that you put in practice. And wrestling definitely gives me the one-on-one mindset for baseball. It's you versus the pitcher. It's just yourself out there making the play when the ball's hit to you. So I feel like everything just complements each other, so well. And there's so many of us that do it at South Range that, it's almost like the norm for us is one, you'll see guys come in 2 weeks before the season. I remember this year for baseball, I came in and played a scrimmage on Monday. Like that was my first day back was a scrimmage. I didn't have, a practice or anything like that. So it's just, you support everyone that does it because you know that, whether it's Dylan Dominguez making a huge difference for our football team or, guys like Corey Pennick that play, right in from football to basketball. These guys just, everyone kind of does it. So you're super supportive of everyone and just helping everyone out.
DJ already mentioned it. You're going to Cleveland State next year to continue your academic and wrestling career. Did you get the opportunity to visit that campus being from South Range, which is a smaller high school here in the Canfield area? Did you get the opportunity to go up there? And what are you most excited about Cleveland State?
Yeah, so I took some time during the beginning of the school year to visit some colleges and find out where I kind of wanted to take my official visits to. And Cleveland State, I went up there on an unofficial visit with my dad, and I just kind of fell in love with the campus instantly. It's a huge change of pace from South Range, obviously, but it's super cool, and it's super just everything's right there, and you're a 4-minute walk from Progressive Field. So it's just, I think it'll be a great thing for me to experience, a great story that I can tell. I'll have some great memories up there, and it's just a different lifestyle that I can, become accustomed to for a little bit, just so I have that under my belt, for the future. And it was just, everything about Cleveland State just kind of stuck out to me, and it was just a perfect fit, I felt, in my opinion.
What's cool is everybody wants to and tries to get that moment, right, of being a D1 athlete, and you got it. And what I learned about you, Michael, is the fact that, you take the moments in to smell the roses a little bit, but now you roll up your sleeves and you get to work harder than you've ever worked before. What is it about your makeup that tells you that, it's nice to be acknowledged for this, but now you've got more pressure on you than you had in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously nice to, when you think about it, to say, you're going to a Division I school to wrestle, but at the end of the day, I felt like it was the best school for me to make that decision, just to wrestle in college, where I want to enjoy the sport and get better at it, and obviously excel in my academics as well. So it's, I feel like everyone from South Range and everyone who, competes at that level, that's not what they're looking for when they commit to a Division I school. It's just, they're excited to get to work, get back to the grind, and, hopefully it's just an opportunity to compete at a higher level. And it's an amazing blessing that I had, that not many people have. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of it and, hopefully just get the most out of it. I've already, been up there a couple times, seen my coaches, we just hired a new assistant. So I got to meet him the other day. They were doing a camp in Austin town. So it was super fun to meet him. I'm super pumped for the year, and it's going to be a grind, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to meet the new people and obviously do what I love and wrestle.
Couple of questions left for South Range alum Michael Markulin. Let's go, Richie. You got something?
Yeah, wrestling is the main focus while you're going to Cleveland State, but overall you got to excel academically to be able to wrestle at Cleveland State. So what are you studying next year if you made up your mind yet?
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to go into marketing. I don't know. I'm going to minor in something too I have some CCP credits, so I don't technically need quite the full 4 years for my marketing degree. So I'm going to minor in something. I'm thinking like accounting or entrepreneurship. And then what's really cool about Cleveland State is I could get into their law school if I stay through the wrestling program and do a graduate assistant, I could get accepted in their law school and just kind of have fun coaching there as a graduate assistant and go to law school. So it'll kind of be the best of both worlds.
I love it. Hearing marketing, entrepreneurship, and then I heard the lawyer part, and I'm like, oh boy,
Oh, boy.
oh boy. Smart guy, Michael Markulin. There's no doubt about that. Michael, when obviously you jumping into law, you don't do that just for fun. That's something you want to do from a standpoint of the rest of your life.
Yeah, my mother's actually a prosecutor for Mahoney County, so she's just I've been around it my whole life, and it's really kind of made me realize, like, I think that's something I'd be good at because I'm not, I'm not a faint at heart kind of person. I like to be passionate about what I'm doing, and, I'm very stubborn. You can ask a lot of people around me and all that stuff, but I think that's something that I can be passionate about and just have fun with and also, be very successful at. So that's sort of why.
And now with your marketing degree, there's so many opportunities up there in Cleveland. You got 3 major sports teams with the Browns, the Guardians, and the Cavs. So talk about that. And is that something that went into your decision going to Cleveland State? Were you looking at that at all? I mean, that you have opportunities academically and to be able to get out into your major and your field and get some real world experience?
100%. I talked about it with Ray a couple weeks ago and stuff like that when I was kind of there. I kind of decided on this about like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I was talking to Ray about it, and he was just, because me and Ray both we checked out Cleveland State for some time together. And we were both just kind of intrigued with the fact that it's, there's so many connections up there that, like, when you're up there training for the summer, they give you summer jobs and you can have internships that work around your schedule. So it's really just an amazing, culture to be a part of. And there's so much to do up there that you can almost find any work path up there while you're, still wrestling, which is the best part.
All right, last question for you, brother. I mean, you've had a life well lived at the ripe old age of 18 already. Who are some of those people that have been supporters throughout those 18 years and have helped lead you to the man you are today?
For just the whole senior class, they're very supportive. They're, everyone supports everyone in that grade. And I've said that before, but it's really just true. And that they're amazing people. They all, jump on board with you, whatever your goals are. And then the South Range community, the teaching staff, the principal, Mr. Rowan, those people they're so supportive, and it's so great to have that behind your back because you don't believe in yourself sometimes, and those people never stop believing in you. And then probably, there's Billy Skirpak, Shane Lindstrom, Jake Gehring, Dylan Dominguez. Those guys are all just, they're hard workers, and they know how to grind. And that's what, I've picked up on, being best friends with Dylan Dominguez since, second. Yeah. You pick up on, his work ethic. We both pick up on each other and feed off each other. And, he's the first guy to chew me out or send me a text if he knows that I'm not, working hard and doing what I told him that I wanted to do. So it's really just a great situation to have all around. And then obviously I can't forget to mention my parents, especially my dad, who, he's been around my wrestling life for, ever since I can remember, ever since I've been on the mat. So he's really pushed me and made me into the wrestler that I am today, from, showing me moves just to inspiring the toughness in me. It's, he's told me multiple times that I could quit wrestling right now and I would have learned the life lessons that he's wanted me to learn from the sport. And so he's really just, obviously done more than his job as a father as his job as a coach, just to inspire me and keep me motivated and, you know, in love with the sport and always have fun. That's the biggest part with wrestling, is that it's a grueling sport. So you got to make sure you're having fun with it. And I think he obviously did a great job of that with our team this year and the previous years that he's been around.
Well, congratulations, man. We're all very proud of you here. I appreciate you reaching out. Love having the opportunity to talk to you. Hopefully this is just the first of many conversations we'll have over the next 4 years, brother. So we're all rooting for you. We're all going to be Markulin fans back here, both of you and your dad, and especially your mom. She's a prosecutor. We don't want to mess with that. So, Mike, appreciate you, man. And if we can ever do anything to help you, let us know.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
You got it, man. Be well. There he goes. Unbelievable young man to be able to talk to him. He is wise beyond his years. And I think that's the one thing that I learned about him very early on. And a lot of these wrestlers, the humility of the sport will tell you everything you need to know about the kind of people that are in it. And, you know, when you meet a wrestler, the handshake, the look in your eyes, the eye contact, the cordial appeal to that, it's just something that, again, unlike any other sport. I mean, there's sportsmanship and then there's wrestling. Yeah. So it's probably the most gruesome sport sometimes. I witnessed my first ever, like, I think it was arm snap. Like we did the South Range, and it wasn't even at the high school level. They were doing like 7 through 12. Yeah. And a kid broke his arm, and I was like, like, what do you do? Like that scarred me. I wouldn't be able to go out there and compete. No. Those guys just, there's dudes eating like hot dogs.
And I mean, Michael's going to have a really tough challenge. I mean, going there for accounting, and, obviously he seems prepared for it. I mean, he seems like a great guy and a hard worker. So, I wish him the best of luck to be able to go to Cleveland State for wrestling. And they won 8 dual matches last year. So that's a legit program. And to be able to experience that type of atmosphere in college, going up to a big city like that, it's obviously going to be an eye opener for him. For sure. I mean, you go from, Canfield, South Range, is a small community. Everybody knows everybody, to Cleveland State, where you're going to have to build new connections and, meet new faces. But it's also going to help because he's part of the wrestling team. So he'll already have some pretty good guys to be around in the first day.
Chris Colucci chiming in saying, love Mike. He's a great leader. And there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, you talk about another add in from Jeremy Welker. Great interview, Mike. It was. And that's the thing is, as much as I'd like to take credit for this, because that was an awesome interview, Mikey sent me a message saying, hey, I would love to do an interview with you. And it's like, yes. Yeah. We never get asked like, hey, will you interview us? It's always like, we feel bad because you're kind of like, I mean, to put it in perspective, you're always kind of like ringing the doorbell and hoping that, somebody doesn't come out, or hoping you're at the right house sometimes. So for Mike to reach out and say, hey, I'd love, to do an interview with you guys, that was a breath of fresh air. It really was. And he did a great job. And you can tell, I'm sure, as you always are, he was prepared for it as well.
Yeah, he was.
I'm just sitting here giggling, laughing, and talking about, people's lives. We wish him the best. I mean, without a doubt. And he's got such a great career and great life ahead of him. You can see he's got a great head on his shoulders. So another great representative from South Range that's going on to make huge impacts in the world, undoubtedly. So, all right, let's get to, we have a show coming up, a little programming note coming. You're going to see that guy again. Richie Giuliano is taking over the airwaves here at YSN. So we're going to have, it's called the Preserve Podcast.
It is. Yeah. So I talked about this on the show, but it stems from Kyle Wills and myself, who both grew up in that neighborhood called the Preserve, which is in Canfield. So we decided to name it after our neighborhood, in which we lived there for 22 years now. So
it's incredible.
That's the name of the neighborhood. We want to bring Quinn on because he lives in the same neighborhood that we do.
Oh, good luck.
But he's not going to come on.
Good luck. Yeah, you might get him once, but that'll be debuting right after Power Hour today. It's going to be a once every couple weeks show, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So part of Kyle's internship with us. And listen, I told you before, and I'll tell everybody now, Kyle's like an intern now, but he has already become a mainstay and a piece of the fabric that is embedded in the YSN community. So he's here to stay. I really believe so. So check him out. Great show. Dan Bertolini, your first guest?
Dan Bertolini is our first guest. Yeah. I mean, we recapped the YSU season. Lost 2 weeks ago to Oakland in the semifinal. Great year. Back-to-back years, over 20 wins. So they had a nice season. And, Berto was kind enough to give us his time throughout the summer. I know he's busy, so thank him for his time. And it was a pretty good interview, 17 minutes long. So we had a lot to talk about.
Wow. Well, we're going to make a break for it. Stay tuned for the Preserve podcast. It's coming up at 4 o'clock, just a couple minutes here on YSN. We'll see you tomorrow here at 3 o'clock, right here on the network. Peace. YSN thanks you for watching this